Welcome back to Car Talk, and as you can see we are with a pretty important car today, a very interesting car, and that's the all-new Magnite. Now the sub 4 meter compact SUV segment has been seeing an unprecedented growth in the last few years. The Magnite will take on new launches and already established cars as well. So there is established cars like the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza, the Ford EcoSport and even the Tata Nexon, while new launches like the Hyundai Venue and also the Kia Sonet. Will the all-new Magnite be able to make its own space? Will it be magnetic enough? Well, stay tuned and we will tell you all that you want to know about the all-new Nissan Magnite. Now, starting at the looks of the all-new Nissan Magnite, this is the first time that we are seeing this car in the broad daylight, and it looks much different from what we showed you the last time. It looks much bigger than that, and on the road also, because of the massive front grille, it has an impactful presence. Starting at the front, you can see the Datsun style design front look with the chrome slats on the side, so it forms a kind of underlining around the front grille. Below that you get a massive chunky bumper. It's solid, plus there are few chrome elements here as well. Just above this chrome lining you get projector fog lamp, and above that there is the DRL. It's all LED DRL, and above that you get very sleek looking headlamp. Nissan claims them to be the sleekest headlamp in the segment, and we do find it very attractive as well, just because of the sportiness it adds to the overall design. Now coming to the side, I must tell you the first thing that you will notice is the branding of the Nissan Magnite, which is positioned just below the ORVM right here. Now coming to the ORVM, it's dual tone. The upper part is finished in gloss black with the lower part finished in a plastic material, and below that you can also see there is a small bump. It's for the 360-degree camera that we will show you later. The wheel arches are very nice. They are wide. You get plastic cladding here, so it adds a wide look to the whole setup of the car. Below that you get nice looking 16-inch diamond cut dual tone alloy wheels. Furthermore, we must show you the chrome belt line that starts from right from the A pillar. It goes all through the window line and finishes right here with an upswept mark. It adds a nice niche premium looking look to the Magnite. Now below that you get a sturdy looking side cladding. It's finished in black and silver, and again it adds muscles to the vehicle. There are additional chrome right here on the doors, and there is also a request sensor right here, which a lot of other cars in this segment do not get. Now before we move to the rear of the car, I must tell you Nissan has designed this part of the vehicle very aggressively. It adds a sporty stance to the vehicle, even if you're seeing the vehicle from the rear quarter. Also, not to miss the roof mounted spoiler right here. It's quite deep, it's quite big, and adds a sporty touch to the vehicle. Now at the rear, the first thing you will notice is the brand, the Magnite, which is spread across the boot lid here, and also the newly designed Nissan logo. I think this is the first car in India to get the newly designed Nissan logo. Also, the tail lamps are split in shape, and they are nice and muscular and chunky, so they are designed in a way to induce a sporty feeling to the vehicle. Apart from that, when you come down, you will see again the nice chunky sporty bumper with dual tone. So there are silver inserts to the bumper, and there is no visible tailpipe, so that's a good thing. Apart from that, you get a plastic skid plate here, and that's about it. So the Nissan Magnite from the rear does look quite interesting. You will give it a second look definitely on the roads. Now that's all about the exterior. Let's go inside and find out how the all-new Nissan Magnite is from inside. So now we are inside the all-new Nissan Magnite. The first things that you see here are the seats. The fabric is self-designed. It's not leatherette or leather, but it's self-designed. It's very nicely made, and also you get nice bolsters on the side, so it hugs your body while you go on a long drive or even in the city drive. If you drive aggressively, these seats will make sure that you stay in your position without moving around too much. Looking at straight front from here, you get a massive 7-inch TFT screen. It's an all digital instrument cluster with graphically designed temperature gauge and the fuel gauge. Apart from that, the 7-inch TFT cluster, it shows you a lot of information, including the first in segment tire pressure monitoring system. If you move little towards left from that, you also get an 8-inch floating type infotainment system. It doesn't come in on your way, so the whole view remains clear. It positioned in a way that you don't have to move around much to check it out also. It comes with segment first wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and that's very useful because it also gets a wireless phone charger. So it's not a gimmicky feature. You can charge your phone wirelessly and also connect to the infotainment system wirelessly at the same time, and that's a big advantage. Now coming to the dashboard, Nissan calls it a dual tone dashboard. However, we only find it black color with the lower part, the areas that you touch the most, with a honeycomb smooth plastic finish, and this region is very nice to touch. It gives a premium feel to the occupants of the car. Above that, the upper layer is all hard plastic. Since you're not touching this area much, so it doesn't matter which plastic exactly is used here, so it looks nice overall. Apart from that, you get 4 nice looking AC vents. They are very sleek in design, and Nissan says the throw from them is one of the segment leading, one of the segment best. And since we are shooting this in Gurgaon and it's already quite cold around here, we couldn't actually test the AC throw. However, the air throw from the vents are very nice. They are very powerful, and it cools down the cabin quite rapidly in this temperature and weather. Now, if you open the glove box, it is massive, guys. So there is a lot of space still inside. I can even fit almost my arm, but it is not cooled, so that's one negative. However, what you get here is a lot of space. Now coming to the space, there is a lot of space around the car itself too. So you get the phone charger right here, so you can keep your phones here. Apart from that, if you come down, there is a second layer of keeping your stuff, your small knickknacks. Right here, there is a 12-volt charging socket, there is a USB charging socket, and there is nice chunky cup holders which you can even place your 1-liter bottles. I will try that, and yes, it will even take your 1-liter bottles very sufficiently. There is even more space on the door pads. The front door pads gets massive space to keep the 1-liter bottles. Plus, there is even more space, even more door pockets just behind it. Now coming to the features, the Nissan Magnite does come with a lot. The segment first features being the 360-degree camera view that you get right here, and it's quite functional, it's worth it. So whenever you're parking the car in smaller space, this thing, the 360-degree view, does the job really well. Apart from that, safety wise, it gets dual airbags with all the variants. Plus you also get hill assist and the traction control, which you can control from right here. Now coming to the steering wheel, it's a multifunctional steering wheel with the buttons on the left to control the infotainment system and on the right to control the cruise control system. You can't adjust the steering telescopically, but what you can do is move it up and down. Nissan says that the seats has been designed in such a way that you do not really need the steering to be telescopic. You can just put it front or rear to get the best position for your driving. And that's the good part. We have driven it for quite around a lot, and we found this position to be comfortable. Now let's go to the rear seats and find out what the Nissan Magnite has to offer in the rear. Now at the rear, the first thing that you notice after sitting on the seat is there is a lot of space in this car. I don't know how Nissan has managed it, but you can easily fit here and be comfortable even during your long journeys. Also, the window is quite large, so it almost comes to my shoulder. I am 5'10". The front seat is adjusted according to my height, and what you get sitting here is a lot of space, a lot of views, so you don't feel claustrophobic on the long drives. Apart from that, you also get this foldable armrest with 2 cup holders right here and also a space for your phone, so You can just keep your phone here and enjoy the drive as you go along. You also get two rear AC vents which you can set according to the position that you like, and also there is a 12-volt charging socket right here. So on the floor, what you see is not a very big transmission hump, so whoever is sitting in the middle will not get uncomfortable even during the long journeys. However, there is little bit of space intrusion by this panel right here, the AC vents. So yes, there is less space, but it is much more than the what other cars offers in this segment. So talking about the space in the rear, as I told earlier, there's a lot of space here as well. So you get two cup holders, phone holder right here. You get pockets with both the seats, and also interestingly, Nissan has added deep bottle holders at the rear as well. So this 1 liter bottle fits very easily right here, and still there is a lot of space behind it. Now talking about the negatives of the cabin, of the interior, we feel that Nissan should have provided an adjustable armrest right here and a sunroof, since a lot of manufacturers are providing sunroof in this segment. So we feel that the sunroof is missing. Apart from that, the fit and finish quality of the cabin could have been slightly more upmarket. Now continuing the space part, I want to show you the boot space of the all-new Nissan Magnite, and it is massive, 336 liters. Instead of the space that we get in the front of the cabin, there is a lot of space around here. We have put our camera equipment, and still this car is good to keep the weekend luggage for at least 5 guys, and that's good enough. You also get 60-40 split seats which you can tumble down according to your needs and even keep longer objects in this boot. Now we have started driving the all-new Nissan Magnite. It's built on an all-new platform, and both the cars that we have driven today are powered by the 1 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine. Now it's an all-new engine that produces a maximum of 100 PS with both the transmission options. However, with the CVT that we are driving right now, it produces 152 Nm of maximum torque. But this torque comes at a low RPM compared to the petrol manual that produces slightly higher torque of 160 Nm. Since we are in the CVT, we will talk about it first. At low RPMs, the engine feels little sluggish, but if you are not going to gun it, if you are only driving inside the city limits and not driving enthusiastically, the CVT does the job exceptionally well. Since it is a turbocharged petrol engine, yes, there is little amount of power lag. So when you press the throttle, you will have to wait for a few seconds to for the RPM to reach a little on the higher side. Apart from that, overall the CVT does the job very well. Now if we talk about the manual transmission, it gets a 5-speed manual transmission, and the gear ratios are as such that you don't need to change them quite often inside the city limits. Yes, in the low end there is not ample amount of torque. That's because it's a turbocharged engine, so you will have to wait for the power to build up. However, if you're driving not so enthusiastically, this does the job pretty well. Now coming to the NVH level, Nissan has done the job pretty well. Since it's a petrol engine, it doesn't make a lot of noise anyway. However, you don't get to hear anything inside the car. Even the road noise is minimal. So that's a great job that Nissan has done, and we have to give them their credits for that. Apart from that, the suspension setup, it's quite on the stiffer side. So there is not much of a body roll if I do high-speed turnarounds. However, the steering, since it's an electric steering wheel, so at high speed you may feel artificial weighing up of the steering wheel. So at high speeds, when you are taking turns, you might just feel that the steering has artificially weighed up. Apart from that, the steering feedback is very nice. It goes where you direct the steering to be. It's very precise, and you will definitely enjoy driving the car in different kind of conditions. Now, even though the suspension setup is on the stiffer side to make the body roll minimal, it does gobble up the rough road surfaces quite well. Now from the driver's seat, the view is quite good. So you sit on a higher posture, so you get to see all the road ahead of you and even in front of you. Apart from that, what you get is a nice looking all digital instrument cluster with a massive 7-inch all TFT screen, and it very rich in colors and also very high-end graphics. It shows you a lot of information, including your ecometer, your tachometer, and it also gets the segment first tire pressure monitoring system, or TPMS. Now coming to the end of the review, I must say that Nissan has a winning product in their hand. The Magnite, it looks imposing on the road, it gets ample amount of space inside the cabin and even in the boot space, and comes with a decent list of features which you will use regularly during your daily commute or highway drives. Yes, there are a few features missing that the rivals offer, but you do have to pay a huge amount of sum for that. Now coming to the price, it will be revealed on 26th of November. However, there are indications that the Nissan Magnite is all set to become the most affordable car in the segment, and that too by a huge margin. Even the top end variant is expected to be priced below 10 lakhs, and that will be a huge advantage for Nissan. The only thing that Nissan needs to improve now is the dealership network that the company is working on right now as we are talking. If the Magnite has to become a successful car in the future, it needs to go to the more showrooms, and Nissan needs to work on that. What do you feel about the all-new Nissan Magnite? How do you like this review? Do let us know in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to the Car Talk channel and press the bell icon.